now. Lake Ontario and the height of Lake Ontario has been a problem, and it is going to persist as a problem. Lake Ontario, just think of a map. It's devastating on the consequence for New York because it's the entire northern side of New York, right? It's the consequences and the effect can't be underestimated. We see it today from the point of view of Greece, but again, just think of that map. It's all along, literally goes from just north of Buffalo all the way up, Watertown, etc. So it's a major issue for the state, and it's everything to the homeowners all along the lake that are dealing with this. When you have water in your home, that's your whole life, that's your whole world. And you have hundreds of homes that are dealing with that. You have hundreds of small businesses that are just devastated. Remember, you have a lot of businesses that deal with the tourism, deal with recreation, marinas, restaurants, etc. And when that season gets wiped out, it has economic consequences for them for the entire year. So there are multiple dimensions to this problem. And short term, the emergency problem is how do you keep water and keep the lake from coming into people's basements and into people's businesses. We filled close to 2 million sandbags. So if the National Guard and the emergency service workers look tired, you know why. 2 million sandbags are a lot of sandbags. But in truth, the sandbags are not working in a way that's going to keep up with the lake. The wind is supposed to come up tonight. That'll bring waves, and that'll just repeat the same problem. It comes right over the sandbags, etc. We're looking at a new product that the state hasn't used before, which is essentially a portable dam that gets filled with water. That's what we were just looking at in the back of this property. And it is essentially, when it works, a 4-foot, 5-foot, 6-foot additional seawall that can be constructed exactly where you need it. And the state is going to be studying it here today. We're going to be at Sodas Point looking at it in different applications. It's probably the most promising technology we've seen. There's nothing that is perfect, right? You're trying to keep the lake from coming over the wall, coming over the beachfront, whatever the case may be. But this is a technology that we're looking at. I want to talk and make a determination before the state legislature leaves next week, because if it works, I want the state to invest in it, protect the homeowners now. It's also reusable. And again, considering the consequences we're talking about, I think it would be a smart investment for the state. So we're going to look at its application here, and then we'll be talking to the legislators before they leave next week. I'm also sending a letter to the Army Corps of Engineers today. I would like to say that this is a once-in-a-lifetime situation, and it's not going to happen again. Unfortunately, they've told me that about 20 times in my job. I can't tell you how many times they said this is a once-in-a-100-year event. But when you hear that about 5 times a year, you start to get a little skeptical. And there's no doubt that there is an extreme weather pattern that is happening over and over again. So these dams are actually reusable. If it happens again in a different part of the state, they will be reusable. And I'm sending a letter to the Army Corps of Engineers asking them for a permanent bulkheading system, more boulders, more encased. They have these caged rock, basically seawalls that they can put in. The Army Corps of Engineers tends to take a long time to make a decision, and I'm asking them to give us an expedited decision. They've been used before. I think we're going to need them again. And before we revisit this next year or the year after, I want to see if we can come up with a permanent solution, because I believe, unfortunately, a situation like this might reoccur. We have extensive homeowner programs where if you are a homeowner and you have damage to the home, we can reimburse for up to $40,000 for damages to the inside and the outside of the home. We have small business programs that we're operating, up to $20,000 for a small business that's been damaged or economic loss for a small business. And we're going to continue operating those programs. And we're also providing relief to local governments that have had to pick up the extraordinary cost to their infrastructure. Because if the town, for example, has to pay, that means property taxes are going to go up. And we work very, very hard to keep property taxes down. It is the #1 tax in the state of New York are property taxes. You ask people why they think about leaving the state, it is property taxes. I spend a significant amount of my time making sure property taxes are lower, getting local governments to work together, etc. So if there's an extraordinary cost here, I would rather see the state pay it than the town pay it, which means the property taxes are going to go up. So for Supervisor Bill Relic and the town of Greece, they've incurred about $500,000 in infrastructure costs. It's my pleasure to tell them today that we're going to reimburse them for all their costs today, up to date, and we will continue. We will continue to do that for homeowners, small businesses that need help. Go to newyork.gov, ny.gov. And the programs are listed on that website. We also have mobile command centers that visit. They're in the at the Greece Town Board meeting place today. If you need more help, direct assistance, and in that mobile command center, you have all the state agencies that are relevant right there. So if you're a homeowner who needs help, if you're a person who wants a DEC permit to do work, which can normally take months, we can now get it done in days. The mobile command center is there. I would like to say that the state had a magic wand that we could wave and we could push the water back. Last time that happened, it was in the Bible. I'd like to say, well, there's an instant technology that we can deploy that will keep the water from your homes. We don't. We're testing this technology, but there is no magic bullet here. We are, again, imploring the IJC to release as much water as possible. I understand the consequences that when you release water from here, it has an effect on the commercial shipping system because you increase the water flow in the St. Lawrence. I get it. I'm the governor of New York. I am first and foremost concerned with the homeowners and the businesses in New York. And this damage is in many ways irreparable. And I'd rather see the commercial shipping industry deal with increased water flow and currents, which they can deal with, rather than see homeowners and businesses demolished. For me, it's a very simple call. The IJC raised the outflow at the last meeting, and I hope they keep it at the higher level. My advice is they bring it to the highest level possible, and they keep it there. The lake is so large, it takes a significant amount of time for the water to drop. But I'm going to communicate that to the IJC again today, Army Corps of Engineers today. The technology we're deploying today seems promising. And if it is, we'll bring that approach up to scale, working with your county executive and your supervisor as to where they can best be used.